Okay. So next we go to the energy conversion process. We know that in order to convert the electrical energy to mechanical energy and other way around we need to use the magnetic field as a medium or interfacing buffer. So definitely we need that kind of energy. Then we can convert electrical to mechanical or mechanical to electrical. Okay. So what is the definition there? It states that electromechanical energy conversion device. What is meaning by device? The device meaning that this device can convert electrical energy to mechanical energy or convert mechanical energy to electrical energy. That's why meaning is electromechanical system energy conversion. Anything that can convert these two energy, electrical to mechanical, mechanical to electrical, then we call it the electromechanical device, energy device. Okay. And here I just show you some extra slide why electrical energy is so important. Why electrical energy is so important there. Just so maybe important you may need to know. Okay. All right. Electrical energy, because you're electrical engineer, so you need to know Electrical energy is the most popular form of energy because, kenapa? Why? It can be transmitted easily for long distance at high efficiency and reasonable cost. That's one reason why this is very popular. We can transmit electrical energy for long distance. For example, from JB to on northern part of Malaysia, to Perlis or to Terengganu and so on. So we can transfer energy in watts, gigawatt at very efficient way and reasonable cost. That's one way because that's why it's very popular. You can transfer easily. And then it also can convert it easily to another form of energy. Electrical energy can be converted to another form of energy such as sound, light, heat, and mechanical energy. That's why it's very, very popular form of energy. You can convert it to other kind of energy. This example Example, we have hydropower station in the Terengganu. So we can transmit energy here to the Johor power consumer in Johor Bahru easily by using the grid network system like that. That's one of the important things of the electrical energy. We can transmit energy with efficient way, less losses. Okay. And also the other important thing that's number 2 just now, you can convert to the other form energy. For example, we can convert to sound energy using loudspeaker. By using loudspeaker, we can convert electrical to sound energy. You can hear something. And you can convert electrical energy to light energy using lamp. Okay, so when electrical energy flow through lamp, it produces light. So we got light energy. Okay, and maybe we want to have a cup of coffee, right? Then you need hot water. Then you need to use kettle. So kettle is a kind of device that convert electrical energy to heat energy, and some other things there are many kind of energy that can be used electrical energy to convert it. So this example I mean we can convert electrical energy to different energy easily using special device That's why it's very popular compared to the other energy. I don't know if you got the kind different energy very hard for you to get, for example, heat energy from them. But electrical energy just simple like that. All right. So understand what is mechanical? Some device that able to convert electrical energy to mechanical the way around. And device that have this kind of characteristic, you call it the electromechanical energy conversion device. Okay. All right. Three category of electrical energy device. With 3 categories for electromechanical device. For the first one, we call it the transducer Transducer ni normally used for measurement and control where it involves small motion only. Small motion involvement. Dia punya movement is very small motion. Okay, so transducer can transform signal to different form. For example, microphone, sensor, and speaker. That's a kind of electromechanical energy. Okay. Right. The other one is a force producing device. force, but involve dia punya mechanical motion is limited, terhad only, ya. Most produce, most force, mostly for linear motion drive. Linear motion, linear motion, something that linear lah, it's not rotational, it's linear. Example in actuators, relay. Actuators ni can be relays, solenoid, and electromagnet. That's the second kind of devices in electromagnetic system. And the third one is, we call it the continuous energy conversion equipment. Continuously happen. So, and this one operating in rotating mode. It's not in the translational, but in rotating mode. It's not linear mode, but it's rotational mode. For example, motor and generator. When we talk motor and generator, it involves the continuous energy conversion. It's not stop, but always happen continuously. So there are three categories in electrochemical energy device. It can be small motion, it can be limited motion, it can be continuous motion. Okay, an important thing also when we talk about energy conversion process, we must obey this principle of energy conversion. What is a principle of energy conversion? Energy can be neither be created or not destroyed. It only can be changed from one form to the other form. Therefore, the energy in the system is constant. Okay, this we call it the principle of energy conversion. We only can change to form one form to the other. You can destroy it or we not create it. We cannot create it or we cannot destroy it. We just can change form only. That means the total energy in the universe is constant. It's constant. There is a law or principle of energy conversion process. Okay, this one I show you already last now. Skip. Okay, when we talk about energy conversion process, and when it involve the electromechanical device, when we talk about electromechanical device, electromechanical converter device, we must have these three parts. We must have electrical system. Where when we talk about electrical system, it involves electrical circuit lah. For example, we need a power source and winding. It must have this one. Mesti ada power source and wires and winding. This is regarding electrical system. The other one is magnetic system, what involve the magnetic field in magnetic core and air gaps. And the third one is a mechanical system, where we have the mechanical movable part. For example, we have plunger, relay, rotor, and so on. So three main parts involved in the electromechanical system. What is it? What is a part? Electrical system, magnetic system, and also mechanical system. So how these three relate each other? How the electrical system, mechanical system, and magnetic system related each other, between each other? We can make analogy lah. This analogy only lah. You can have this water tap, and this water tap coming into the bucket here, or whatever you call it, storage tank, and then this output from the bucket. So whenever you open this tap, the water will flow. This one you call it the mechanical energy lah. And when the water is flow, come out, then the water will be coming to this storage. That's one represent the electrical energy, and you need to store the water first before you convert to this one, to mechanical. This one you call it the magnetic energy. Magnetic circuit lah, magnetic energy. So this is interaction between electrical, mechanical, and magnetics. Or you can see this way lah. Alright. It's like a pipe system in our house. Okay. This is a water tank, water storage lah. And this floating. So whenever you open the tap here, whenever the water out from the tap, it will make water supply. It will make water flow into the storage tank for the main supply, like that lah. Okay, so this is your mechanical parts happen there when you do some job there. Then this electrical part will move in to the storage tank, and this is your magnetic field store here. So it involves, I mean, you cannot directly change heat from here to here. You need a storage tank first. So the storage mean in our study is a magnetic storage, magnetic circuit, or magnetic field. So it's like buffer lah. Boleh faham? So that's relationship between mechanical energy and electrical energy. We need a magnetic circuit, magnetic energy to store first and then convert to this mechanical energy. So it involves three parts, mechanical, electrical and magnetic. Okay. Ini konsep of modeling lah panggil lah. Konsep modeling lah. This electrical mechanical system. So in this system we have three parts, mechanical system, magnetic system and electrical system. Electrical system involve voltage and current and involve the Kirchhoff law lah. Kirchhoff voltage law, Kirchhoff current law. That's regarding the electrical system. In magnetic system involve magnetic flux, magnetic flux and then reluctance and so on lah. And this mechanical system involve the position, speed, acceleration, and involve the force or torque equation, Newton's law, and so on. So that is, we call it the concept of electromechanical system modeling. How it relate each other. But it's not very important, but at least we have some idea how it would look like. Right. Also, we can represent a block diagram like this. Okay, this is a block diagram of energy conversion process. Just now I mentioned to you we have three parts, right? Electrical, magnetics, and mechanical system. Okay. So based on this block diagram, our input is electrical system. Then this electrical loss. Then electrical system will be stored in this magnetic system. You got magnetic loss, and the magnetic system used to drive or to trigger the mechanical system. And you got mechanical loss, and this is a net power to drive your shaft. This net power lah to drive your shaft or your fan and so on. So that is how it relate each other. Okay. Electrical loss represent what? Wire loss lah, I squared R and so on. Wire loss. Biasanya losses pada wires lah kan. I squared R lah losses. So field loss means just now we already studied due to the hysteresis and eddy current loss. Bila when it store energy, you will have loss in that core itself, which is your system become hot due to the hysteresis and eddy current loss. And mechanical system dia ada mechanical loss. Bila you punya plunger move or your fan move, it will involve the mechanical loss. Mechanical loss ni apa? Dia ada bearing loss, dia ada windage loss, okay? Friction loss, that is mechanical loss. And after mechanical gross power minus these losses, then you got the net power to drive the shaft. Jadi basically in order to find the efficiency ni kan, you just P mechanical, output divided by P in. Input power, how much input power here, P in. This output power, so P out divided by P in, that give you the efficiency of the system. Okay, now we try to write this equation, this block diagram to equation. You just write back lah, electrical energy input from source equal to mechanical energy output plus increase in stored energy in magnetic field plus energy loss. And this a general equation, between these three energy. Ataupun you boleh tulis macam ni, same thing lah, electrical energy minus resistance loss, electrical energy from source equal to mechanical energy output plus friction loss plus energy stored in the magnetic circuit plus core loss. Okay. Ini kalau ada loss lah, if you have got losses in the system. But if we assume no losses in the system, that means perfect. So this system, we call it lossless system. So we can write equation ni, persamaan ni in term of differential form ni panggil. Differential form where we write in DWE. Differential mean the differential form of electrical energy equal to differential of mechanical energy plus differential form of the magnetic energy. Ini that is an important equation lah. So later on you will deal with this one. Ingat ni formula ni. Electrical energy or the change of electrical energy equal to the change of mechanical energy plus the change of field energy. Okay. So what is the electrical energy? Differential electrical energy equal to dWe equal to I d lambda. Dia punya persamaan dia lah. So d omega WE equal to ID lambda. Later on, I explain why you got this ID lambda. So this represents the differential change in electrical input energy. dWm equal to Fx dx, Fmax dx, which is differential change in mechanical output energy. F is force, force. dx is the small change of distance, x. Give you the differential change in the mechanical energy. And dWf equal to differential change in magnetic stored energy. Ingat formula ni, ingat this three involve three main parameter. E, electrical, M, mechanical, and F stand for field. Field tu energy lah, magnetic energy, field energy, magnetic energy same. Alright, now we go a little bit further. What is WE? WE is an electrical energy just now. So dWe stand for energy. Energy equal to EI dt. dt. When we have change in dt, we got change in omega E. So energy equal to power by multiplied by time. So you got small change of electrical energy equal to EI small change in time dt. Okay. So EI equal to P dt lah. EI equal to P power dt. And we know that E equal to d lambda per dt. This is a Faraday law just now. Okay. So if you substitute E equal to this d lambda per dt, then we got dW equal to I d lambda. So that's why we can say that we can write that dW equal to I d lambda as here. Let me mention I d lambda there lah. I lambda is stand for electrical energy, change in electrical energy. Okay. Okay, I think that should be okay. Boleh ni this the introduction first. Later on we go much detail. Then you can appreciate this one lah, this formula. This formula. But remember lah, dia punya relationship between electrical energy, mechanical energy, and field energy. Okay. Based on this block diagram. So kita punya source adalah electrical energy lah. So electrical energy equal to energy stored in field plus mechanical energy. Okay, now we go much detail. What is energy? What is the co-energy one? What is the force? I already explained in the first lecture last time. Why we need to find energy? What is the importance of co-energy? And after that, we can find the force produced. But our target now is to find force or torque. When we have machine, we want to know the torque or the force produced. Okay. So in order to calculate force or torque, then we need to calculate energy first. Energy, also co-energies. What is energy? What is co-energy and force? Okay, now in order to study in detail about this parameter, we try with this system. This is called the electromagnetic relays. This is an electromagnetic relays. Relay kan? Relay something that, as I mentioned before lah, it can be normally closed, normally open. When you energize, it become closed. When you de-energize, it become open, right? It's like switch lah. This is a system, simple system we're going to study. Based on this system, we can find later on the force and so on. Right? This is our relay. So the relay consists of two parts. First part, they panggil immovable part, stationary part. Okay, and the other one is movable part. Movement, it can be movable, and then you got spring there. Okay, this G stand for the distance between movable part and stationary part. Call it G. X is a reference point between reference point and this position. You call it X. X. What you see here, X and G almost same thing lah. When G decrease, X will be increase. Understand now? G decrease means when you got minus dg, you got plus dx. Dia akan berubah macam tu lah. The relation between G and X. Okay. When the G increase, you got plus dg, then here X will be decreased, you got minus dx. Understand? So later on, we can represent the energy or force in terms of G and X. Either one lah. Sometimes G is fixed, X change. Sometimes you have to check the structure of the of the device later on. But this is only the basic device that we want to study. F the force, this is a flux. This is source. Electrical. Okay. So if now just now we have shown familiar. Okay. It's source which reaction of watch. Okay. This is the coil N. Okay. So now you know when we give the current there, we will extract. So they call because you know give you the source of the flood we flow. When the flood flow, we will attract this move thing. We attract the part. Okay, that consider. I mean, it's mechanical energy. In order to force attract unit mechanical energy, convert from that used to drive. Okay, got dx, you got F, you got energy produced by the mechanical. This stands for differential, like I say, differential, small, right? So what I got to do now? Okay, we just erase equation here. Just rearrange. Fine. So field energy equal to electrical energy. Okay. This one a little bit cut you lah. This stands for differential lah. Where based on this formula just now, the field energy is uniquely specified by values of lambda and x. Okay, I mean depend on the lambda and x, flood linkage and also link x. That is a energy stored in the field or differential energy. Field energy equal to is a relationship between lambda and d lambda dx lah, d lambda and dx. That means two parameter that govern the omega f, which is d lambda, the flood linkage, and also the Dingston x. Okay. So what is this one? Later on we go detail this one. Just for to show for the relationship between field energy and electrical and mechanical energy. Alright, if we plot the graph between lambda and I just now, lambda and I, right? Atau BH curve lah. And this is the curve. The curve, BH curve. Okay, the shaded area here represent the energy stored in the magnetic field. Okay. For example, if we apply the current there, then we apply the current and we say that we apply the current here, then we say that the movable part is keep stationary. It's not moving yet lah. Keep it hold like that. Don't make it move. You apply current, so all the energy will be stored in the magnetic field. But the mechanical work doesn't work yet. That means we make sure the movable part is stationary, not moving. Then what happened? We increase the current lah. Increase the current, then we have this plot. Okay, increase the current, we got lambda linkage. So the area here represent the magnetic field stored in the magnetic circuit there. How much the magnetic field stored in that particular system here? Okay, we increase current, we hold the move part so that it not move. We try to measure the stored energy in the magnetic field due to the current increment there. So this is the current. You increase the current, you plot the lambda, you got this one, and the area here lah. This area represent the total energy stored in the field. So a portion there of the part there, a portion that represent delta d lambda, and this zero is lambda, this zero lambda, and the small part here it represents d lambda, which is equal to omega f lah, to of energy here d lambda. You faham tak? Jadi kalau you nak tahu total energy, differentiate lah. You just differentiate both side, integrate. Integrate both side. We integrate the omega f. You got omega f. This one become different, integrate from 0 to lambda. I di lambda. That give you the energy stored in the magnetic field. Jadi that's meaning. So jadi kalau itu DWF ni a portion of energy, apa maksud DWF ni? A portion, a part of the differential change of the field energy. Itu maksud DF ni. Jadi DWF ni represent this shaded area. Shaded area ni represent DWF lah maksudnya. Okay, boleh faham lah. Jadi DWF equal to I di lambda. I di lambda. Why kita dapat? Kenapa kita dapat I di lambda? Because this part is 0. This part is 0. We make sure that there is no movement in the mechanical relay there. So we hold the relay so that it cannot move. So whatever we apply here, that the omega. So the omega S to I di lambda here represent this small portion. Ini berlaku lah. Tapi kalau you nak tahu total energy stored, you must integrate from 0 to lambda lah. We have to integrate from 0 to lambda. Then find the area here. So the area here represent the energy stored in the magnetic field when we apply current from 0 to I. 0 increase I increase sampai kat sini kan, up to this point. So how much energy stored? Integrate I di lambda from 0 to lambda. Ya, area sebelah kiri ni the energy stored magnetic field. Okay. The small chain represent the differential of energy stored in the magnetic field. But the whole area here represent the total energy stored. Itu relationship between lambda dengan I with respect to WF lah. Ini kita nak faham lah what happened there. Apa sebenarnya WF ni. WF tu is field energy stored in the magnetic field when we apply current. Ini represent lah formula dia. Jadi this one dWF equal to I di lambda. That one represent the small part of change there. Alright, jadi ini relationship between lambda dan current. Jadi kita tengok sini, if you see the characteristic lambda I ni, lambda I characteristic of electromagnetic system depend on air gap length and VH characteristic. It depend on air gap length of the device ni lah. Air gap length ni. Length dia G ni. Kalau kita ada air gap length something like that, kalau dia besar, length dia besar, dia akan jadi like that, linear lah. For the larger air gap length, the characteristic is actually linear. Maksud dia punya mu dan linear atau inductance is linear. But if the air gap becomes smaller, then we have non-linearity like that. Dia punya relationship is not linear anymore. Boleh that is relationship between BH curve or lambda I curve with respect to the length of air gap. Length of air gap here. Jadi ini lah. So when we start, remember when we study this one, you have to use this formula dia. The basic formula is this one lah. Okay. W omega E minus W dWm. Then give you dWf. But if we keep the X constant, tak berubah, maksud kita you hold lah. Bila kita hold kita punya relay ni kan, that means X constant lah, dx equal to 0. Dx equal to 0. Then we apply the current. So we can see that the magnetic system here will store the energy in terms of magnetic field. That's given by this one. Okay, that is energy. Energy mean the area under this curve. Lambda I ni, dia punya bawah dia, sebelah sini, sebelah kiri. Ini energy stored in the magnetic field. Now we go to the core energy. Core energy, the complementary lah ni. Energi yang warna merah ni. Simbol dia WF. Later on, next week, saya akan mungkin buat, I will give you the simple quiz lah to detail what I have studied before. So this WF represented, this lambda I curve. Lambda I curve. Ini lambda I. Okay. The area under the curve, the red color one, represent energy stored in the magnetic field. Apa formula dia? I di lambda 0 to lambda integration. Ingat, this very important formula for you to understand. That one you call it panggil energy. So complementary dia. complementary daripada WF adalah WF prime. Yang color biru ni, the blue color. Okay, the blue color meaning that WF prime equal to, kita integrate area ni. How to get the area ni? Is integration from I0 to I, lambda di. Itu beza je lah. Jadi kalau you integrate lambda di 0 to I, that gives you the co-energy. Co-energy. This one energy. If you plus these two, you dapat balik lambda I. You add these two lah. You add omega F plus omega F prime. We get back the lambda multiplied by I. Okay. So code ni sebenarnya that's not important, but we can use this method to calculate the torque later on of force. But the actual physicalnya, yang physical happen adalah energy stored. Yang ini actual lah. You have the system, you have energy stored in the magnetic field. Code energy does not exist lah sebenarnya kan, but it is a method lah to calculate the force later on. We can use this method, code energy method. Okay, boleh faham? So that's how we this things lah. In order to find the red color, integrate lambda 0 to lambda I di lambda, formula dia energy. In order to find the blue color, the area dia ni, the area ni tambah dengan WF prime, W prime F lah, equal to, kita integrate 0 to I di lambda di I. Itu ada dua. Satu lambda di I. Satu lagi, satu I di lambda, the other one is lambda di I. Okay, this form for energy, lambda di, and if we, okay, then sekiranya if lambda prime bigger than lambda F, is WF prime bigger than WF, this term is non-linear. Gitulah simple je. If WF prime bigger than WF, then this term is non-linear. If they are similar, this term is linear. Kalau luas kawasan sama lah, the same area, then you got this linear system. Linear maksud dia punya slope is same lah. Slope linear means same thing lah. They got same mu. Mu here same, mu here same, mu here same. Same all the sama lah. Ataupun inductance sama lah. L here same, L here same. Same L. L doesn't change lah. That's linear meaning. The quantity of co-energy has no physical significance. However, it can be used to derive expression for force or torque developed in electric system. Okay, there's some remarks lah for you. Sebenarnya co-energy ni dia bukan, there is no physical significance bagi code ni, but it can be used to derive the expression for force later on. Okay, I hope we can differentiate between energy and co-energy, and equation involved to calculate energy and co-energy. Kalau ada prime ni, kalau prime represent co-energy, W prime F represent co-energy. Tak ada prime, no prime is energy. Ada time lagi. Okay, sikit lagi. Right, 10 minutes. So now we're going to find force. Force produced by this system. We now remember we studied the system here. Now we're going to find F max, force produced here. Okay. So the magnetic stored is okay. Just okay. Just now I mentioned the force or the energy stored uniquely, determined uniquely by the dependent state variable lambda and x. You got two state variable just now. Stored energy ni kan, differential is called stored energy equal to I di lambda minus d Wm or f dx lah. That means kita ada two state variable which is x and lambda. Okay. X dan lambda. So don't worry much here. Ini just flow only. We won't ask you this in the exam. Just flow to get how to get the equation. Later on, you need to use that equation in your test and so on. But this on the flow only. The flow, I mean, at least you know something lah. You don't just use formula, but you know how to get this formula. Okay. Right. Now, in order to find the force, we can use many methods. But in our slide here, we use the method, we call it the partial derivative lah. Partial derivative. This is one mathematical function lah. Partial derivative. And you studied this one before, you may have some knowledge and easy for you to understand. So what is a partial derivative? So partial derivative state that For any function of two independent variables, for example, you got function ada two variable, ada two independent variable x1, x2. Function ni ada two independent variable x1, x2. The total differential form, the total differential equation of f with respect to the two state variable x1, x2 can be written as this one. That's the theory behind the partial derivative. That means you got the derivative of f x1, x2 equal to partial derivative of x1, x2 with respect to x1. While doing this, x2 must be constant. Maksudnya bila you do differentiation, ini apa, kebedaan, differentiation lah. Bila you kebedakan this function with respect to x1, variable x2 must be constant. Plus, when kita differentiate partial derivative of this function with respect x2, x1 pula constant. Macam tu dia tu keadaan. Itu cara matematik punya secara lah. Kita tak perlu pecah kepala. Don't break your head lah. Just follow only. If you have two variable x1, x2, we can find the total lah, total differential equation ni by splitting these two. Split these two variable. The first one we differentiate with respect to x1 plus we differentiate with respect to x2. While doing that, bila you differentiate x1, x2 must be constant. Komponen x2 yang dalam ni mesti constant, tak boleh buat apa, kita anggap constant. And bila kita differentiate with respect x2, x1 must be constant. That's how it works. Okay. Now, kita back to our system. In our system, we got lambda and x. Lambda and x. Lambda dan x. Jadi, kita tukarlah x1, x2 ni dengan lambda dengan x. Itu simple je lah. x1 kita ganti dengan lambda, x2 dengan x. That's it. Jadi, kita gantikan. So, differential of energy, lambda x digantikan lambda dengan x. Differentiate to lambda, x constant, plus kita partial derivative of this energy with respect to x, lambda constant. Right. And then kita mesh. Kita meshkan equation ni yang diaduskan dengan equation asal tadi. This one. This original equation. Kita meshkan dia. This one I di lambda minus. Kita padankan dia. Meshkan. Okay. Jadi I di lambda equal to this one. And negative f max equal to this one. Kita tak perlu tahu yang ni I. Kita interested on f dari force saja. We don't interested on I. That means kita focus on this part only. Because kita nak cari F, force ni. Jadi yang ni tak important bagi kita lah. Maybe ada important for the other aspect. But for our study, we just focus on the force only F. Jadi kita meshkan dua tu. Meshkan dia. Jadi simple kan. Jadi in order to find force, what you got to do? You need to differentiate energy ni, partial derivative kan dia, while maintaining lambda constant. Lambda dia kena constant masa awak differentiate for equation energy ni. Boleh? Dia cara dia. Jadi by matching both equation, the current equal to this one, this current ni I can be obtained by this equation, but we not interested the current. And mechanical force F ni equal to this formula. And this one our interesting part. We want to find force, daya force. Then we need to get partial derivative of energy ni with respect to x. While doing that, lambda must be constant. Boleh faham? Itu je. That's how we work out the force. Dapatkan energy, equation for energy first. Kebedakan dia. Differentiate. Kebedakan with respect to x. Semua yang ada lambda kena constant. Boleh mechanical force. Jadi itulah kita dapat solve problem ni. Jadi apa yang kita boleh discuss sekarang ni? Kita perlu cari energy stock first. This energy stock, WF energy stock, bukan core energy. Kalau core energy dia ada prime. Ini energy, real energy biasalah, energy yang awak cari tu, stock dekat magnetic field, divide by differentiate with respect to x. X tu jarak dia lah tadi. X tu ni x. Ni x, this one x. Okay. Then divide by differentiate with respect to x2. I mean kat sini kita with respect to x lah, x2, x pakai x. Okay. Okay, itu basic equation for the general things. But if our system is linear, now linear system, linear mean, as I mentioned before, kalau you ada magnetic circuit, semua energy stored dekat air gap. Ataupun mu r very high. Mu r very high, ataupun you can say that all energy stored in the air gap only, that is linear. Ataupun you can say that the slope is linear lah. The slope is linear. That means that whatever point you take, mu is constant. That's, you can see the linear system lah. Okay, or you can say like this one just now. Straight point. This is a linear system. This is non-linear. This is linear. The bottom one is linear. So if relationship between lambda and current is linear, then we can use this method. Right. Okay, for linear system, we know that just now L equal to lambda divided by I kan. Kita dah bincang tadi kan. You ada lambda I, jadi lambda L kali I lah. Lambda Lx. Sebab L ni depend on X, jarak dia. Sebab sekarang kita ada X punya sistem. Jadi energy, formula energy apa ni? Kat ni formula energy. Ni formula energy. Energy stored equal to what? Ni, I di lambda. I kali dengan di lambda, integrate from 0 to lambda. I di lambda. I di lambda. Okay, I di lambda. Integration from 0 to lambda. Okay, I equal to lambda divided by X. Selesaikanlah. Dapat half. Integrate this one dapat half lambda square over 2Lx. Right, this energy equation. And using this equation formula, you differentiate energy ni pula. Tadi dapat energy punya equation. You got energy equation here. You got energy equal to half lambda square over Lx. Now use this formula, differentiate energy equation with respect to X, maintain lambda constant. Dia kena differentiate, kebedakan. Kebedakan lah. You have to kebedakan or differentiate this one. Formula ni guna negative partial derivative of energy stored over the X while maintaining lambda constant. Buatlah macam biasa. Differentiate formula ni masuk kat sini, differentiate jadi double differentiation ni. Last sekali you dapat, inilah formula dia. Apa formula dia? Half I dLx over X. Ini formula untuk force yang dihasilkan. Kalau sistem constant. Jadi kalau sistem tu linear system, you boleh pakai inductance saja. You cari inductance, differentiatekan dia, multiply by I squared over 2. Dan kita dapat cari force yang dihasilkan. Boleh faham? Jadi formula ni sama tak dengan yang first chapter tadi kita buat tadi, yang first time kita buat ada I half I squared L over X kan? Sama kan? Same. Sama sama. Jadi itulah. Jadi kalau sistem tu linear like this, you got system linear, ini straight lining, kita boleh cari force dia dengan method inductance. Inductance maksud dia, you need to find inductance first. Inductance ni kita dah bincang tadi, N square over S. N square over S kan, tapi dia ada function X lah, sebab dia dalam sistem kita ada X. Maksud L ni depend on X. Dan formula dia. Jadi kita dapatkan half I square differentiate Lx over the X. Dan kita dapat cari force yang dihasilkan. Okay. Boleh this is a linear system lah. Linear system. Kalau kita ada sistem yang jenis pusingan, rotational. Dia kan ada torque. Tukar lah. Kalau ada torque, mesti guna X ganti theta ni. Kalau pakai torque, ni force. Force ni dalam Newton lah. Tapi kalau mechanical torque, dia mesti guna theta, guna X, kita pakai theta. Ini lambda dengan theta. Angle theta. Itu beza dia. Kalau dia sistem tu melibatkan rotational, so X akan jadi theta. Jadi kita dah dapatkan torque sama dengan formula yang sama dengan ni juga. Same formula dengan ni, pakai ni. Same formula yang dia dah tadi, tapi gantikan X dengan theta. Lambda dengan theta. Differentiate with respect to theta. Lambda still constant. Dan kita dapat cari torque. Okay, I think time dah cukup.